The Cincinnati Bearcats seem a lock for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1977. Even with a sterling 22-4 record, though, they continue to pound their opponents and impress the selection committee until they get the nod. The Cats stepped into the national spotlight 3 weeks ago at number 24 and have lit their lamp brighter ever since. After a hug-and-less win over Marquette and a big road victory in Birmingham, UC is ranked the 14th best team in America. But tonight, Cincinnati winds down its regular season with a huge Southern-style challenge. The Cats haven't won in Memphis since Ed Badger and Jelly Jones brought home the victory in 1981. This season, though, the Tiger faithful have doubled their numbers in a sparkling new palace known as the Tomb of Doom. This hostile environment of 20,000 plus will be the sixth man behind All-American candidate Anne-Marie Hardaway. Hardaway can wreak havoc any number of ways and will loom as a nemesis tonight. From the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, it's the Tigers and Bearcats. Coming up next.
XIX Sports presents University of Cincinnati Bearcat Basketball. Sponsored by Greater Cincinnati's own Performance Automotive Network. By Miller High Life, by that man a Miller. And by Provident Bank.
The 14th-ranked Cincinnati Bearcats have journeyed south to the brand new Pyramid on the banks of the mighty Mississippi. Tonight, a great Midwest Conference clash with the Memphis State Tigers. This is the final hurdle before the tournament. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pyramid in Memphis. I'm Tim Bray along with Derek Dickey. Tom Kelly is in our studio in Cincinnati. You know, Derek, tonight the Bearcats have a lot of goals, and they could have a lot of goals met tonight with the win here at Memphis. And one of those big goals is a co-conference championship. And as you take a look at the standings, 8-2 is the DePaul Blue Demons, and the Bearcats are 7-2. And Derek, all they need is a win.
Well, they need a win in order to secure a co-championship, but that was indeed one of the goals that Bob Huggins set for his team, to be champion of the Great Midwest its first year in existence, and they are on the way to fulfilling a number of those goals.
The seeds are DePaul and Cincinnati for next week's conference tournament, and Memphis State has a lot riding on this, a lot of pressure on Memphis State tonight.
Well, indeed it is. There's a possibility Cincinnati could play Memphis State again in the Great Midwest Tournament, but Memphis State still has to be concerned about this game tonight. They have to come out ready to play and absolutely come away with a victory.
They are jammed to the rafters here in this new facility, and I'll tell you what, it even started last night, the intimidation factor here in Memphis.
Oh, no question about it. We were greeted at the airport by a number of fans, as you can see, with the Tomb of Doom symbol arriving before we did, and they were waiting for Coach Huggins, and they are still waiting for him to come out on the floor right now.
Memphis State is led by Anne-Marie Hardaway. This guy can do it all. He is probably the best newcomer in the country in my estimation.
Well, there's no question about it. This man is probably the closest thing you'll see to Magic Johnson because of his versatility and what he does. First in steals, assists, scoring, block shots, just about anything you ask of him. He's 6'8" tall, and he can play guard or forward. Just a tremendous all-around talent.
All right, it's Memphis State and the Cincinnati Bearcats, and the starting lineups are coming up next. Cincinnati and Memphis State here at the Pyramid tonight. This is a facility that could hold 200 million gallons of water, Derek, if you could put it in. And there are 22,000 fans in here. This is the largest crowd that the Bearcats will play before all season long, but it's the 14th time that the Bearcats have played before 10,000 or more.
This is a very impressive building, Tim, to say the least. It is indeed a pyramid, a glass and metal and concrete structure like nothing I've ever seen. But the fact that the Bearcats are playing this time for the first time in front of 20,000 fans, it could play a little bit of a psychological disadvantage, but at the same time, when I was a player, it was something that always got me motivated and pumped up.
This is senior night here at the Pyramid for Memphis State, the final home regular season game. The seniors are being honored, such as Tony Badlock and Ernest Smith. They also have Russell Young. There are 5 seniors total.
Memphis State is 18-8 overall. They are 5-4 in the GMC, but here at home they are 12-3, and they have wins over Arkansas when they were 5th ranked in the country, and also Missouri when they were ranked 12th.
This is a totally different team than we saw in Cincinnati last month, but the Memphis State Tigers are doing just a tremendous job of finally gelling and hopefully taking that bit of consistency into the conference tournament and also into the NCAA or NIT tournament.
Tonight it's the 41st basketball meeting between the Tigers and the Bearcats. And Memphis State holds a 21-19 advantage in the series. Bearcats won 13 of the first 18, including the first 6 in a row. Memphis State has won 18 of the last 25, including 10 years in a row. And in order for the Bearcats to take home that prize tonight, they have to break the jinx, the 10-year jinx.
Well, what they have to do, Tim, I think, is just come out ready to play. They have to, instead of in the past 4 or 5 years that I've been associated with the program, let Memphis State get off to an early start. What the Bearcats need to do is come out right away. If they're going to initiate the press, do what's necessary to get consistency, get some turnovers created, rebound the basketball, and then go on and try to put this game away early.
Let's take fans back to the Shoemaker Center. First meeting of the year, 75-66. The Bearcats beat the Tigers. That was on January the 18th. Herb Jones scored 20 and grabbed 9 rebounds in that game. And the thing that I remember was the fine inside play of Corey Blunt.
Corey, go ahead, Tim.
18 boards in that ball game. That's a career high.
Well, in order for Corey to be effective, he has to be assertive at the beginning of the basketball game, just as Herb Jones. We're going to need his presence. But also from the outside, the Bearcats when they have been successful, have shot the ball well from the outside. But to have a Corey Blunt, who is a defensive intimidator with the ability to block shots and also the ability to go after the basketball, he is going to have to step up his level of play and come out again and do that tonight.
Memphis State has turned this thing around here in this great city. And we talk about all the things that Memphis is about. And I think it was tarnished somewhat when they were on probation. But Larry Finch, who a third of his life has been associated with this particular university, has brought it back. And I think the graduation more than anything else.
Well, Larry has also brought respect back to the university as well as harmony within the city of Memphis, because he has the inside track, if you will, for the recruiting of high school athletes out of the city of Memphis, Tennessee. And he just does a tremendous job with keeping open that relationship with the families, the community, the business community, as well as the entire state of Memphis, the people of state of Tennessee, following Larry Finch and his great new program.
Here's the starting lineups now at the Pyramid in Memphis.
The other forward is 6'5" junior from Long Beach, California, number 33, Terry Nelson. At center, a 6'10" junior from Monrovia, California, number 45, Corey Blunt. At a guard, 6'3" senior from Flint, Michigan, number 23, Anthony Buford. At the other guard, a 6'1" junior from Kenosha, Wisconsin, number 31, Nick Van Axel. And the head coach of the Bearcats, Bob Huggins. Now starting for the Memphis State Tigers. At a forward, 6'9" freshman from Whites Creek High in Nashville, number 50, David Vaughn. The other forward, a 6'7" junior from Treadwell High in Memphis, number 25, Anthony Hardaway. At center, 6'7" junior from East High in Memphis, number 55, Anthony Douglas. At a guard, 6'1", graduate student from Melrose High in Memphis, number 20, Tony Madlock. And at the other guard, a 6'5" junior from East High in Memphis, number 35, Billy Smith. And the head coach of the Tigers, Larry Finch.
So the 23rd win could be here tonight in Memphis. Welcome back to the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, right on the banks of the Mississippi. Tonight it's the Tigers and the Bearcats, and here are your light beer Miller game notes, as UC has not won in Memphis in the last 11 years. That certainly has to be changed tonight, and this is a very difficult place to play in. Memphis State is 12-3 at home, and their 3 losses by a total of 6 points. One of their losses to Temple, and they really almost gave that ball game away here. And that is a big one as well. Derek Dickey, Tim Bray here at the Pyramid, and Derek keys UC in tonight's game.
Well, Cincinnati out-rebounded Memphis State in that first basketball game, 44-35, which was their largest deficit of the season. And they also got to the foul line 48 times. And in order for Cincinnati to be successful, once again, get the ball inside to their big people established early, and then later rely on that outside shot.
Von Zecker throws it up, and we're underway. It'll be Jones and Nelson, Blunt, Buford, and Van Exel for the Bearcats as they run offensively for the first time in the ballgame. First shot, and that is Buford, and it's long. Out of bounds to the Bearcats.
Anthony Buford rushed that shot just a little bit with a defender in front of him. All he's trying to do is get the Bearcats on the board early, but you need to show a little more patience.
Bearcats running the set from the out of bounds on the baseline. That's Buford. Memphis State in a man-to-man coming out off the inbounds. That's Jones at the top of the key.
Memphis State's trying to apply pressure to Cincinnati to get them to go out a little bit further on the basketball court in terms of picking up their dribble and initiating their offense.
10 on the shot clock. First possession of the ballgame. There's Van Exel for 3. Blunt with the offensive board. It's blocked away. David Vaughn with the block.
Nice rejection by David Vaughn. Corey Blunt went up a little tentative with that shot.
Double team, steal, and Blunt hits it. Van Exel doesn't have the numbers. Here's Buford in the lane. A blocking foul as he went to the lane. And it's on Smith. First foul of the game.
Going to the basket is what Cincinnati needs to do. Here you see Corey Blunt getting his shot rejected because he's going up with a soft layup instead of being aggressive with a dunk shot. Had he gone in with a little more authority, he might have been able to get off an easy basket.
And the first 2 points of the ball game.
Herb Jones, nice move inside, giving a nice head fake to the bigger shot blockers underneath.
Vaughn trying to run the break against the zone and the press. There's Vaughn one-on-one with Buford. Smith.
That's applying pressure out on their floor, just like Memphis State is doing, trying to make Memphis State pick up their dribble a little bit further away from the basket.
Second possession of the game for the Tigers. Cross court to Hardaway. He touches it inside, whistle, and it's going to go against the Tigers and David Vaughn.
Offensive foul, but there was good defensive position that time by Terry Nelson, trying to fight around David Vaughn just to maintain and establish inside.
Larry Finch still holds 5 records when he played here. Madlock applying the pressure to Van Exel.
Really going to be important for Memphis State to take care of the basketball. They committed 31 personal fouls in that first meeting and also had a season low, only 6 assists, and shot 1 of 11 from three-point range.
Herb Jones tied up. Possession arrow goes to Memphis State. Put the ball on the floor, Derek, and you got to keep the ball up.
Well, no question about it. Herb Jones is 6'4", and when he brings the ball down around his waist or around his ankles, that makes him now about a 4-foot-tall player, and you don't get much accomplished at that level.
First points of the game for the Tigers by Tony Madlock. He's the senior at 184 pounds from right here in Memphis. Got it up for the first time in the ballgame.
Bearcats turning the ball over. Well, it actually wasn't a turnover. It was a jump ball situation, but every possession is going to be important for these two teams today.
There's Nelson with it. Working the perimeter, now inside, left hand. Ooh, nice shot by Van Exel.
Nicky Van Exel just out-quicked the defense in terms of getting up to the hoop.
Smith draws the foul as he goes to the hoop, and it'll be against Blunt. So Corey picks up the first foul of the Bearcats.
Take a look, if you will, at Smith, Billy Smith, taking the ball to the basket with a lot of aggression, trying to get inside and take advantage of Cincinnati before they get back and set their defense.
So it's not shooting. Here's Smith with a J. He got bumped. No call. And you see with the basketball. Flood down the middle. And oh, yes.
Bearcats in their transition game. Shot was missed. Almost looked like a foul could have been called. Yeah, the rim is stuck down on Corey Blunt's dunk shot.
Look at this.
Probably need to pull it down again to take it back up.
With authority now. He has really come on, hasn't he?
Oh, Corey's doing a great job. He's doing a lot better job, but if he continues to be aggressive in terms of going to the basket, it will allow him, I think, to be able to get inside, get to the foul line, and be able to do some very good things to help this basketball team.
He broke the rim.
Well, I don't think it's broken. It's a spring. And if you hang on it to take it back up, it should go back up.
I think we're going to get a couple of cheerleaders down there to see if they can reach it. This is with authority, my friends.
Why don't they try taking it down first?
No. It doesn't work that way. We'll be here all night if that happens. The strength of the Cincinnati Bearcats all season long has been their ability to play defense. And watch this.
Jeff Scott does just a great job with positioning his body, but Jeff does not have to score in order for him to be an asset to Bob Huggins' basketball team. Good defensive position, rebounding, blocking shots, intimidating inside, and even scoring on occasion is what Bob Huggins looks for in Jeff inside.
Jeff Scott, 6'10", senior out of Cincinnati. Memphis State basketball. That's Ernest Smith with it.
Neither team shooting the ball very well. Cincinnati about 38%, Memphis State only about 33% right now.
Douglas from the foul line. Gibson comes down with the rebound. He's averaging about 4 a game in this stretch that he's been playing for. Gibson loses it there, but guess who picks it up? It's Jones. Missed it. Scott with the rebound. Back up with a right hand roll. And Douglas comes out of there with it.
Cincinnati looking for contact, and there really is not a lot. You need to continue on up with your shot and not worry about the shot blocker.
Ooh, Buford got up on that particular move. Nelson top of the key. He's got 5 already. Buford with it against Smith.
Cincinnati in their motion offense is trying to get the ball to the cutter or to the open man for a jump shot.
22 on the shot clock. Jones against Hardaway.
Plenty of time.
Oh, yeah. Half-court offense. That's what the Tigers want to see the Bearcats do. Now 10 on the shot clock. Buford's open. In and out. Rebound inside. Jones with the sky left side.
Herb Jones is having some success. That's his second basket with his left hand inside, but by getting inside is Herb's biggest asset where he can really help this basketball team.
Now it's Matlock who'll set up. He's a senior in grad school here at Memphis State. Douglas. Nelson's not going to come out on it. At the three-pointer.
Memphis State has had a history of going through lulls when it comes to their offense, standing around with the ball over their head, waiting for things to happen.
Oh, almost a steal by Buford, and he lost it, going for it out of bounds. It'll be Eric Martin now checking in for Cincinnati. Bob Huggins liked the effort, though, from Buford.
Anthony Buford will give you all that he's got when it comes to going after that basketball. Not only does he tip it away from Ernest Smith, but trying to keep the ball in play by just diving for the ball.
9:39 left first half. Here's Hardaway for 3. He launched a big one that time. Rebound to the Bearcats. Gibson 2-on-2. Doesn't have the numbers to bring it back. Jones trying for a screen. And out of bounds. Last touch by Memphis State. The Bearcats are certainly being patient. They lead 17-8 here. 9:18 to play. Bearcats have attempted 6 of them against that new rim. Haven't hit one yet.
Inside is where the Bearcats need to get the basketball.
Give it go. And on the right side, count it. Goaltending as Jones goes up.
Tell you what, there was a nice underneath the shoulder pass by Eric Martin. Take a look at that pass right over the shoulder inside to Herb Jones going to the basket. Nice way to get that give and go inside. Kelvin Allen making the block, but it was called a goaltend. Good call.
19-8, Cincinnati by 11. Padlock setting up the high 1-4. Hardaway averages 15 shots a game. You would expect him to get the ball.
Well, he's more of a second half type player, and he's going to try to look for a shot early. If it's not there, indeed he is going to the second half, come out and put the ball up, and he has the light to do it from coming out of the locker room.
Harry goes down the lane and he scores.
Such a gifted athlete to be able to penetrate inside, use his athletic ability to knife away from the contact and still make that basket.
6'7" sophomore from right here in Memphis. Twice he won Player of the Year in high school. Nobody else has done that in the state of Tennessee.
Hardaway missed his first season because of being a Proposition 48, which is academic difficulty in meeting the requirement. But also, he got shot in the foot, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. There was a nice give and go from Herb Jones back, this time to Eric Martin.
Inside Allen, and nobody covered underneath. And that Calvin Allen has his first basket. 21-12 now, Cincinnati. Buford left alone inside. Oh, there's a jam. Nice feed, and Scott gets it, and a steal by Gibson. Bearcats applying plenty of pressure. Buford inside, missed it. Jones with the rebound, and he'll keep it alive for UC. Martin to the glass, and it's tipped up by Scott twice, missed it, and finally the Tigers come away with it.
Tell you what, you have to like the way Cincinnati's going after the ball on the boards.
Allen missed that one, but Martin's there for the rebound and throws it away. Now that got Bob Huggins' dander up. Ooh. A.D. Jackson will be coming in for him, but we'll take a timeout. 7:03 to play first half, and UC leads it in Memphis. Seven minutes and 3 seconds left in the first half, and the Bearcats lead it. You're inside the UC huddle with Bob Huggins diagramming the plays and telling his Bearcats to get on the boards.
Take care of the basketball. They just turned the ball over in the situation sequence right before the timeout, but Bob Huggins wants his team to go after the ball aggressively on both boards, which is what they've done. However, when you get possession of the basketball, take care of it and try to get a better shot opportunity. Herb Jones 3 for 5 from the field right now with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Penny Hardaway only 6 points, no rebounds, and no assists.
Memphis stayed with the ball. They're in the white with the blue numbers on the back of their uniforms. Bearcats in the rose black with the red numbers. Smith with it. Go inside the bond for the turnaround. And coming off with it is Nelson. He got it knocked out of his hands, but he touched it last.
Actually knocked out by his teammate, Eric Martin. But again, they were both going after the ball aggressively, so a coach never complains about that.
Had Martin and Nelson in the ball game at the same time.
Kind of unusual because you don't have a true scorer in either one of those players, but Herb Jones is on the floor, who will give you some points.
Turned around by Allen inside. It's 4 for Calvin Allen. It's 23-14, Cincinnati. Getting pressure in the backcourt as A.D. Jackson brings it up. He's in there for Nick Van Exel at this point.
Cincinnati again going to go to their motion offense, trying to get the ball inside if they can.
Nelson has it, and now Martin trying to find some room, and he scores.
Good job by Eric Martin to continue to use his body. Had a chance to go up with a dunk shot. Had he done that, next time the defense would have gotten out of the way, but he did use his athletic ability to get inside.
Woo! Hanging in the air that time.
The elevator man, Billy Smith, using his athletic ability to go inside over the defender.
It's his first 2 points.
Billy Smith's such a great defender on basketball. Does a good job with following his man.
He's one of 3 players from East High School as Jones takes it in with, again, the left hand.
Well, Herb is around the basket, and most people are aware that he likes to use his right hand, but Herb does very well with his left hand when it comes to going to the basket.
Bad pass by Vaughn. Jones with the left hand again. And a carom ball. Almost a steal as it came across the court. Here's Smith for 3. Inside rebound, and it's touched out of bounds. Last by UC. Change for the Bearcats. The Temple of Doom fans really not happy at all. And now there's Bob Huggins as Herb Jones limps off. He might have got stepped on, and the body's down low.
Yeah, that does happen when you get that kind of contact. So far, Cincinnati has scored 8 points off of Memphis State, 7 turnovers, and Memphis State has only forced 4 turnovers by the Bearcats. Only scored 4 points.
Terrence Gibson comes out, and Jeff Scott back in the ball game.
Bearcats are doing exactly what Bob Huggins wants, and that's being aggressive on defense.
Hardaway gets up high on that one, but didn't get it to go down. He didn't have all that many points, 16 points, but he didn't connect that well from the field at the Shoemaker Center earlier this year.
Bearcats already had 6 steals. Memphis State only has 1 to this point in the game. Memphis State back in a 2-3 zone.
A.D. Jackson waiting for his teammates to set up the offense. Plenty of time, 18 on the shot clock. Now here we go. Martin with it on the right side, double team. Nelson. He kind of knocked out of his hands, but Martin comes up with it. He's going to go to the line. Fouled in the process, coming down the lane.
Eric Martin was actually looking to pass that basketball. I don't know if they're going to put him on the free throw line or not. Going to give him 2 shots. He was looking to pass the ball to Jeff Scott.
He sure was. And Three Hardaway.
Take a look at Terry Nelson going in for the shot. It's tipped away, which is a good block by David Vaughn, but Eric Martin is looking to pass that. It's an ugly shot, but indeed it was a pass off.
He'll go to the free throw line. Fine contribution to the last 6 games.
I keep waiting for this young man. One day, the light's going to come on. He's going to realize he is just an outstanding athletic talent for the University of Cincinnati.
More and more comfortable in the Queen City, and he has 6 points already this evening. 29-16, and a bad pass created by the Bearcat pressure defense.
Another turnover. Cincinnati has a chance. That's 8 turnovers now by Memphis State.
Coming down to the 4-minute mark here in the first half. Pressure now by Memphis State as Anthony Buford sets up the offense, trying to get it across the line. Anthony Jackson, his running mate, along with Terry Nelson and Jeff Scott and Eric Martin out there on the floor. Martin, bad pass, a whistle, and a foul on Martin. Eric Martin tried to steal the basketball and got the reach-in foul.
Well, what Eric Martin did was fail to catch the basketball and have it in his possession before he made a move with it.
Timeout on the floor, and we're going to take timeout with the Bearcats in the lead in Memphis. 3 minutes and 47 seconds left to go here in this first half. Let's take a look at the 4-game summary. And it's the no action. It's right at the top. The delay for 52 minutes because of the broken rim. UC is doing it with the defense. My goodness, with the steals and also on the defensive end with turnovers.
Well, indeed they have. They've forced 8 turnovers right now, but they're also applying a lot of pressure on Memphis State, making them pick up the basketball away from where they want to pick it up. And Memphis State's standing around. They're being a little stagnant right now, so they need to force the action. The Bearcats want to continue to force the action.
Jones has 8, Nelson 8, Van Exel 6, and Martin 6 for the Bearcats. And Hardaway has 6 points for the Tigers. First time we've seen Tim Duncan in the lineup for Coach Larry Finch. Also in the lineup, Marcus Nolan. Hardaway's still there. He goes baseline with it. Cashes it in.
Anthony Hardaway can do so many things. And, you know, we're going to be repetitious talking about this young man, not only tonight, but also the next couple of years because of what he can do for this Bearcat basketball team.
Jones with the right hand, and he almost got it to go in.
Maybe Herb should have used his left. He's been very successful with that tonight, but a nice attempt to get in and try to shoot that basketball. Nice bounce pass underneath for A.D. Jackson. Herb is not able to convert going underneath the hoop, but he does draw the foul.
Foul on Tim Duncan, his first. 17th foul now, charged against Memphis State.
Cincinnati is shooting free throws very, very well so far in this basketball game.
Jones will get the second of the 2 free throws. And he gets it. He has 10 points already. He had 20 in the first meeting between those two. Marcus Nolan takes it to the left block. Bearcats in a man. Van Exel on Nolan. Trying to set up Hardaway. Go to the left side. There he is. Hardaway for 3.
With a defender in his face, Penny Hardaway goes up right over Herb Jones, able to make that basket. Finally, get Tigers charge back up.
First 3-pointer of the game for Hardaway. Here's Jeff Scott. In and out. Out of bounds and last touch by the Tigers, and it'll be UC basketball.
Hey, what, Bearcats were very fortunate, but also you have to like what Jeff Scott did in going after that basketball. He almost could have gotten called for an over-the-back foul, but he stayed with it long enough and well enough to keep the ball in Cincinnati's possession.
Nelson with it.
No foul. No blood, I guess.
Physical game, no blood. That's right.
It's going to be a very physical game.
I don't know if anything could be as physical as that game last week.
Well, we still have another half to go here, and I think even after the 52-minute delay, players are starting to warm up out here.
Bad pass by Scott. Crowd's back in it, but that's a bad pass by the Tigers. 2:13 to go. Madlock back in, and Marcus Nolan will be popping out of there. No, they're going to give Smith a rest.
Both of these coaches are giving instructions to their players in terms of taking care of the basketball. Every possession is going to be important, not only for the remainder of this half, but for the remainder of the game.
Half-court trap, and Exel will bring it across the line.
No trap.
I thought it looked like it was going to be set up that way.
It did. Only if they get the ball on the sideline will Memphis State traps. They've gone to this situation a couple of times already.
Jones with the bounce pass. They reverse the basketball. There's Buford. He hasn't hit one yet. Here's Jones with the rebound. Tipped up by Martin. No good. And out of bounds. It'll be Memphis basketball.
It has gotten very physical under that basket. Cincinnati had 2 or 3 attempts at going after that basketball. No foul was called, but it was good intuition to stay after that ball on the hoop.
Well, it's above the rim, too.
Yes, it is.
Nolan breaking the pressure. On baseline, and they'll tie it up, and Van Exel's quick hands make that play. Cincinnati gets the basketball in alternating possessions. Minute 38 to play, first half. Bearcats by 10, 31-21. And look at the boards. Bearcats by 7 on the offensive and defensive boards. Nelson cross court to Martin. Now the zone defense. Maybe a matchup this time down to the Tigers.
It's like a 1-2-2. Neither team has scored in the last couple of possessions.
Jones can't hit the long one. Bearcats are cold from three-point range, and Vaughn walked with it. I'll tell you what, the Bearcats are doing it defensively subtly. I mean, they're not making the big steal, but they're making the steal. And then they cause a turnover on just a little reach in, thinking that the player is going to have to reverse his hands or maybe reverse the basketball, and by golly, the Bearcats get it back.
That's the 6th turnover by David Vaughn alone, 10 by Memphis State in this first half. Cincinnati can break this pressure, and I think what they need to do is get the ball to the high post, the foul line area.
Buford looks for the shot. Inside they go. Double teamed. Martin back up again, and he scores. He stayed right with it.
That's a good job for Eric Martin to maintain his concentration, follow that basketball up after it was tipped away the first time.
Last minute of the first half.
Watch Penny Hardaway. You got to watch him from the time he walks in the building because he has the ability to shoot the ball from anywhere on the basketball floor.
Douglas with it. 24 on the shot clock, 28 on the game clock.
Which could leave Cincinnati a last chance opportunity to shoot the basketball.
Maybe about 7 seconds. Hardaway with it, double team. Inside, Douglas. No, Duncan with it, with the rebound stick back.
10 seconds.
7. Van Exel. 3 seconds. Out of bounds and the horn. I believe that will be it in the first half. That is it. A 10-point game at the half. The Bearcats come out and do it on the defensive end like they've done all season long. And they have a 10-point lead at the half, and Bob Huggins looking up at the clock, knowing full well he's got a half to go for a title. Co-champions in the great Midwest.
I'll tell you what, it was a sloppy first half, and I attribute that to the 52-minute delay.
Back with more in a moment. UC leading 33-23 at the half. We're at the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's been a terrific first 20 minutes here. Tim Bray along with Derek Dickey. Derek, it was a game so far that it's been defense for UC, defense for Memphis State.
I'll tell you what Cincinnati has done is gotten their bench to contribute. Is something that you and I noticed early in the game, that Memphis State does not have as deep a bench or as contributing a bench as Cincinnati does. And so far in the first half, Cincinnati has scored. Their bench has scored 10 points, gotten about 8 rebounds, and forced about 4 turnovers. So they've done a good job in that respect for Bob Huggins with their defense.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and the highlight of the half so far, probably the whole game, the slam dunk that brought the rim down by Corey Blunt, and it took 52 minutes to get that one done. Here's a great big rebound by Herb Jones.
Bearcats just crashing the ball. Great defense is Jeff Scott, and doing some really good things for Bob Huggins' basketball team.
Anthony Hardaway, his three-pointer in the first half, and that was a big shot at that point. Inside in the paint, some nice passing. Jeff Scott with the slam from Anthony Buford. And this is penetration all the way.
This will drive coaches absolutely crazy when you have great defense for 14 seconds, and then all of a sudden the last second you allow a defender to go right down the middle. But Penny Hardaway can do just about everything out on the basketball court.
Now the first half statistics, and neither team shooting very well.
No, but it's good defense by both these teams, and also that 52-minute delay has really caused a lot of problems for both of these teams.
Bearcats leading in rebounding. Herb Jones, the leading scorer for UC with 10 points. Look at Eric Martin with 8 and Nick Van Exel with 6. Now for the Tigers, Anthony Hardaway with 11 points in the first half, and Madlock and Allen also scoring. So those are your halftime statistics. The second half of this basketball game upcoming from the Pyramid in just minutes.
Much pressure as they can on Memphis State, not let them get wide open jump shots or wide open uncontested shots.
Well, there's Douglas to get things started, his first 2 points of the ball game.
Memphis State going to try to apply three-quarter court or full-court pressure, just being in the way of nothing else, making Cincinnati either pick up their dribble or now force them into a situation where they have to do something with the basketball.
And Exel with it on the side. There's Buford. Smith on him. Man-to-man for the Memphis State Tigers. Axel trying to penetrate. Nelson will take the jumper, too strong. And he'll get his own rebound. What presence. But he throws it away. Douglas. Madlock will take the J. Jones comes up with a rebound for UC.
Very fortunate opportunity for Cincinnati, and Memphis State made the first 2 baskets of this half. It could have been a different complexion coming out.
Neither team shooting the basketball very well at all, but that might have to do with the defense. Jones inside, one had it knocked away, and he throws it away. Here's Hardaway, no look pass, and he is right up in the middle as he goes down the lane. Foul call.
It's 2 very poor decisions by Cincinnati in the offensive sequence. Corey Blunt had the ball, makes a pass right to a Memphis State defender. And prior to that, Eric Martin made a pass right to a Memphis State defender.
Terry Nelson picks up the personal foul. Watch him bottle up Hardaway in the middle.
Tell you what, that was a good foul because he did not allow Penny Hardaway to get his arms above his waist. Therefore, he was not able to attempt a shot.
Bond trying to find it. Hardaway lets it go right through his hands. Boy, what a shaky start out of the gate here in the second half for Penny Hardaway.
For both of these teams,
well, yeah, you can
they've had some unforced errors.
Ooh. We talk about that in tennis. We don't talk about that too much in basketball. Unforced errors are a bad tennis term.
You're absolutely right, but you still have to take care of that basketball. Every possession is important.
It's the execution. Here's Nelson moving on the right wing. Now, Van Exel. Penetration. Scoop left hand is good.
Getting the ball inside the painted area is what can allow the English of Cincinnati to get into and constrain the Memphis State Tigers.
Blocking foul as Hardaway penetrated. It's on Buford. For Cincinnati with foul number 2, second team foul.
Look at Penny Hardaway making that familiar hop skip step that he likes to go between defenders with.
Well, Anthony Buford has ignited a lot of runs for Cincinnati this year. He's second personal foul in the game, and it'll be Memphis State basketball out of bounds.
The floor is a little wet.
I think they'll polish it a bit and we'll be ready to go. This is a common occurrence tonight. A delay. Take it down low and Vaughn with it, and Nelson lost it. Smith with the rebound, and it's good. Willie Smith's 4th point of the game.
As we talked about, every possession is important, and it's important for Terry Nelson, who has an opportunity to get that rebound, let it slip away. You got to go after that basketball with 2 hands every time.
Jones double team. Scott now to Nelson. Here's Buford with it. Buford looking to penetrate.
Good defense by Memphis State, forcing Cincinnati out away from the basket.
Inside Scott. And he will go to the free throw line as he draws a foul from Vaughn.
Cincinnati once again trying to penetrate. Nick Van Exel sees a cutting Jeff Scott. His arm is actually grabbed that time. Looked like might have been David Vaughn. Is that underneath, or was that Billy Smith? Grabbing the arm, allowing Jeff Scott to go to the line with 2 free throws. And Jeff is absolutely struggling from the free throw line.
First one, no good.
32% from the free throw line is not going to win you a whole lot of basketball games.
No, in his career, he's a 50% free throw shooter.
7 of 8 from the line so far tonight.
That was the Cats' first miss, but Buford gets the rebound. Nelson mistimed his jump, but Scott gets it, and he can't get it to go down. Nelson gets it again, and he will go to the free throw line as he is fouled. 4 chances at the hoop, and Nelson will go to the line.
You have to absolutely love this exchange by UC and going after the basketball. Here comes one shot by Herb Jones. No foul is called. Terry Nelson over the back. He could have been called for a foul. Jeff Scott goes up with the left hand, nothing. But Cincinnati stays after the ball, stays after it until somebody either gets to the foul line or we carry someone out of here.
That's for sure. So now it is Terry Nelson at the line, and he'll get the first one, and he'll get one more. 6 for Nelson now in the ballgame.
Cincinnati is doing a lot better job in concentrating and making their free throws. When you're on the road, every possession, every point is absolutely important.
So now it's 37-27. Cincinnati by 10. They led it by 10 at the half. Pressure there. This is Duncan. Forced it and he got it.
Tell you what, Tim Duncan, another player out of Memphis, Tennessee, was able to turn and find the basket without even looking at the hoop with 3 defenders around him.
It was the strength of the bench at Tulane that won Memphis State the basketball game because they got in all kinds of foul trouble on Wednesday night in New Orleans.
Cincinnati looking to get the ball down low. Another bad pass.
Steal, and now it's back the other way.
Cincinnati has the numbers.
Buford, and finally his first 2.
Now he's shooting on the rim that he's familiar with. The first half was a rim they shot on for the last 2 days, and it's been changed, so now he's back to a more familiar surrounding.
Almost a steal. Jones has got it, one hustle, and it's stolen away by Hardaway. 2 of the best in the league going at it one-on-one. Duncan takes it down, and Douglas inside, and he scores.
Anthony Douglas using every bit of that 255-pound frame to clear out enough way underneath just Scott and lay the ball in the hoop.
Bearcats with the lead in the ball with 15:45 to go in the ball game. Buford taking it inside, will put it up and score. He scored 4 in a row for the Bearcats.
You see where Anthony Buford's getting the shot inside the painted area. The first half he was shooting from the outside. Now he's back inside, getting something that is a lot more familiar to him.
15:27 to play here in the second half. And the Bearcats lead by 10 in Memphis. We'll be back. Anthony Buford has scored the last 4 for Cincinnati. They lead by 10, and this is a nice running right-hander.
Indeed it is, but Anthony is now getting inside, getting to a more familiar territory for himself and making shot attempts at the hoop.
Anthony Buford has done it in the past. He has ignited runs like against Marquette. He had 6 points in a row. He sparked a 16-2 run there. He's done it. That's just one example.
Cincinnati's also shooting the ball very, very well from the free throw line. They're 9 of 11. Memphis State is still yet to attempt a shot from the free throw line. Now we're going for the first time. Anthony Douglas.
And Corey Blunt commits the personal foul. That is foul number 2 on Blunt. And it'll be Memphis State at the line. Larry Finch trying to charge his team up. Buford brought the house down with a slam dunk and also brought the rim down in the first half.
This is Memphis State's first attempt at the foul line all night tonight, and Anthony Douglas shooting about 67% from the free throw line. Let's see what kind of luck he has.
Douglas has hit 11 of his last 13, make it the last 14 now.
I'm not going to make a major issue out of this anymore, Tim, but they're shooting on a rim now that they're really not as familiar with, so it may have a little bit to do with how the ball caroms off that basket.
That one went in. So give Douglas 5, and it's 41-32 as the Bearcats see pressure and a bad pass.
So many times we hear that a team that applies pressure does not like pressure applied to them. Bearcats are not making good decisions in a situation like that where they should be a little more patient and recognize first and then try to establish and attack the situation.
And the man for UC. It's Duncan inside. There's Billy Smith with a long bomb, and it's no good. Buford with a rebound.
Cincinnati has a chance if they can get the ball at the court. Nope. Nick Van Exel with a 6'8" is Anthony Hardaway guarding him.
Hardaway's trying to utilize his size to intimidate as Van Exel's on it. There's Blunt off the iron. Hardaway with a strong rebound. It's Madlock now.
Almost lost the handle on it.
Douglas gets a screen. Right-hander is good, and here's a run by Memphis State.
That's a nice shot by Anthony Douglas to use his body, lean inside to make that shot attempt.
And UC is forced to call a timeout. So we've played 6 minutes here of this second half. And the Bearcats lead it 41-34. Tigers have scored 5 of the last 8 points, and sometimes you got to create. And this is what happens on this play.
Well, indeed it does. Memphis State just trying to get the ball inside the painted area so they can get a little bit closer shot attempt. And what they did that time, Anthony Douglas, in filling the lane, also filling that starting spot left vacant by Todd Munt, is now able to cash in on an easy hoop.
That's a name from the past, Todd Munt. I remember he gave the Bearcats fits for about 2 years.
He sure did.
He's not playing now.
No, he isn't. Very little, and that's because Anthony Douglas is being a lot more active on the offensive end and the defensive end for Larry Finch's basketball team.
Van Exel trying to move across, and it is knocked away. Hardaway stole it. He created it, and now he's at the other end. Big board by Buford.
You cannot turn your back when Anthony Hardaway is on that basketball floor.
Great pass, but Hardaway pinned it against the glass. That bucket ought to count.
Should be good.
Hardaway is going to get a foul, but no. Oh, that is goaltending.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
All right,
no, it's not, because the ball did not touch the backboard. Anthony actually pinned it against the board, and it was still on its way up. That is a good call. Very close, but it was indeed a good call.
Bob Huggins arguing his point.
Take a look at this again. The ball is on its way up, but Hardaway is the one that initiates it against the board.
Boy, that is a split second, but great eyes by the official. We have the luxury of seeing it a couple of times. Hardaway's second personal foul. Jeff Scott at the line, and he is 0 for 3 now.
Jeff is now starting to release the ball with a little more rhythm and a little more control on the ball. If he continues to follow through, he will make some of these free throws. But Cincinnati has the edge on the rebounding boards. They got 28 rebounds. Memphis State only 18.
Rebound, Bearcats, but it is knocked away, and last touch by UC. So Jeff Scott did not hit the rim, or if he did, it was barely.
Yes, he did. If he had not hit the rim, it would have been a violation.
That is true. He just barely hit the rim because it came straight down into Terry Nelson's hands.
Cincinnati still applying pressure out front, trying to force a turnover of sort.
Douglas gets another shot. Ball on the floor is picked off by Memphis State again.
Looked like Cincinnati tried to run out of there without the basketball that time. Their defenders were pinned, their best rebounders were pinned underneath the hoop. This
is the time Memphis State is attempting to make a run. They trail by 7. Forced shot by Smith. Duncan with the rebound and a whistle underneath. Larry Finch has to be restrained by his coaching staff because I'll tell you what, there was more of a foul in the initial shot.
I think there was, no question about it. I would agree with Larry on that exchange.
Anthony Hardaway trying to settle his coach down.
Take a look, if you will, at this. Oh, looked like Anthony Buford might have actually grabbed the right arm of Billy Smith in that shot attempt, and that's what Larry Finch was so upset about.
Tim Duncan will go to the free throw line.
Only his 3rd time at the line this year.
He's getting plenty of minutes right now. Corey Blunt back in the ball game for Cincinnati. Crossing your picture as Jeff Scott comes out.
Cincinnati's not scored in a few minutes here, so this next possession is going to be very, very important. And I'm sure Memphis State, if this free throw is converted, is going to apply defense.
Hardaway gets the offensive board. This could be a big possession for the Tigers. They've already scored a point. Potential for, I suppose, 3 or 4 more.
Memphis State knows who to go to. Get the ball in the hands of the money man, the penny.
Matlock at the free throw line. He's hit some big shots over his career, and now he has 6. And it's 41-37 now.
That's experience by Tony Matlock.
Nick Van Exel breaking the pressure, and now the crowd comes into it here in Memphis. All 22,000 at the Pyramid. Van Exel for 3. No good. Billy Smith with the board.
What Cincinnati and Bob Huggins wanted to do was try to limit and minimize the crowd as much as they can. And by getting that early lead, they've been able to do that.
Padlock one-on-one. Terrible shot.
Nope, it was deflected.
Nelson with it. Cincinnati breaking the pressure, but the ball is knocked away by Duncan. Here's Hardaway. Doesn't have the numbers, but he'll take it in anyway, and Buford stops him with a foul.
It's on the floor, so there will not be shots attempted. But Anthony Buford, as you can see, is unhappy. This is a nice move by Hardaway, but are they going to give him free throws? I hope not. I don't think so. It looks like the foul was on the floor.
Anthony Buford will check out of the ballgame for Cincinnati with 11:30 to play in the game.
Has Buford scored?
Buford had scored 4.
Okay.
Just this half.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, he scored the last 4 points for Cincinnati. Smith's 3, no good. Knocked away. Last touch inside by Hardaway. So the Bearcats will see pressure now. A lot of dead balls, and that has created a lot of opportunities for pressure in this basketball game, both sides.
Cincinnati needs a basket here in the worst way, or at least get to the free throw line.
One. Nelson down low. There's Gibson. Finally.
Outside shots are not going to be, very effective for a team like Cincinnati that's struggling right now in this basketball game, but getting it down low will be able to help you.
Duncan. Blocked by Blunt out of bounds, and last touch by the Bearcats. Awfully strong. Corey Blunt inside.
Indeed it was. Not only did he block the ball, but kept the ball in play long enough for his team to at least be able to get an attempt at keeping it in bounds.
6-point game. Tigers trail. Hardaway. The block, double teamed.
Let's travel.
There's Smith for 3. Off the iron, and now the Bearcats on the run. 2-on-1. All the way, Van Exel, and he'll go to the line. Count the bucket.
Good job by Nick Van Exel to start that break all on his own by getting the rebound and getting a shoulder in front of the defense. Look at him being chased by Anthony Douglas, and he just goes out and takes off right over Billy Smith, who does get that blocking foul.
Second time in the game he's gone coast to coast.
It certainly is, and he's done it. And Larry Smith was absolutely enraged because his team did not get back and cover that hoop.
Billy Smith checks out of the ball game, and in for the second time, and the first time in this half is Marcus Nolan.
What has been important is Memphis State made a couple of runs. They made a couple of baskets to go from 31 up to 37 points, and now Cincinnati gone from 41 up to 46 points, so they're making a run to answer Memphis State's run.
Boy, nice feed in to Hardaway. Spin move by Nolan. Ernest Allen down on the paint.
Foul looked like it was on Nicky Van Exel.
It was.
Back.
Trying to help out, and that's important.
16 fouls on Cincinnati.
And it looks like Nicky Van Exel with his first foul. Right.
Take a look at Memphis State breaking the pressure. Nice move by Marcus Nolan to take the spin and to dish inside for his teammate.
Ball is pinned against the glass, and the tie-up situation that goes to Cincinnati on alternate possession.
Well, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say that basket had something to do with that, but no, I better leave that alone.
That has been the phantom basket. There's the long pass down the floor to Herb Jones, and they throw it away. Every once in a while, you've got to do that to keep the defense honest, but not particularly in that position.
You do, and that was a good idea, except that I don't know if Terry Nelson ever played baseball, because as a baseball player, you're taught to lob the ball, or as a football player, you're taught to lob the ball, let the receiver run underneath it. The ball was not lobbed. It was thrown a direct pass.
Marcus Nolan. That's his first points of the ball game, and just like the Tulane game, the bench is contributing here tonight for Memphis State.
Marcus Nolan, a freshman, also out of Memphis, Tennessee.
10 of the 14 players on the roster.
Turnovers are almost even now. Memphis State at 13, Cincinnati at 14.
And Exel on the left wing. Trying to penetrate now. Gibson
side, backdoor cut, Van Exel.
Good look. Memphis State is playing such aggressive defense. They're overplaying almost every situation. That time Nick Van Exel chose to go inside and not go out where the defender was waiting.
Time for a 1-and-1 as Van Exel commits the personal foul. First time we've been in a 1-and-1 situation. Didn't get to that in the first half. It's a second foul on Van Exel. Remember, they didn't even do it in the first half. Here are some of the factors in the Bearcats' success. The runs this year. Look at Marquette with Buford igniting the 18-0 run. There's different players. Tennessee, it was Anthony again, and Van Exel at St. Louis. The Xavier situation at the beginning of the game. Bearcats have had one just about every game.
Yeah, but I like the leadership role in there, and Anthony Buford stepping up, doing what's necessary to get his team back on track. He's back out on the floor now. Let's see if he does use that experience and leadership to get a run started for Cincinnati.
Terry Nelson checks out of the ballgame for the Bearcats. We have Martin back in. Marcus Nolan getting some PT tonight. And it is a 7-point game. 48-41, and Nolan with 4 points. 9.5 to go. Nelson will bring it up himself against Hardaway. Hardaway, and he lost control of it. Buford, though, off the blind inside. Martin on the block. Can't get it to go down, and it is Memphis State's basketball. Ernest Allen no good, and UC with it. Cincinnati clearing with Blunt. Gibson on the break.
Taking care of the basketball is what Cincinnati needs to do with this. Every sequence, it's going to be very, very important from now until the end of the game. Just a little over 8.5 minutes to go.
2-3 zone by the Tigers now.
It's kind of like a 1-2-2.
Van Exel. Van Exel now with 16. First 3 of the game for the Bearcats.
Yes. Finally hitting the basket from outside.
And a steal. Buford up to Nicky V. Over to Martin for the jam.
Once again, Anthony Buford has initiated this defensive effort to put together hopefully another run for the UC Bearcats. They're back up to 12 points ahead right now.
Memphis State calls timeout. 8:16 to go. Larry Finch not happy at all. Bearcats 53, Tigers 41. We'll come back to the pyramid in a moment. Senior leadership from Anthony Buford as the Bearcats go on an 8-4 run. He gets it up to Van Exel, and watch this.
Tell you why this is important is because the last time Nick Van Exel was out on a break like that, he tried to wait for the contact, the defender to come in before he released the ball and missed a shot. This time he had a fellow teammate following him in Eric Martin to be able to finish that play off with a nice assist.
8 times this year that the Bearcats have made quite a run at their opponents in the second half. This appears to be the night.
Van Exel doing another fantastic job. 16 points and 3 assists. Also has a couple of rebounds in this basketball game.
8 minutes to go. Memphis State controlling.
Tell you what, Anthony Hardaway is on the bench right now. This is a chance for Cincinnati to continue this pretty good run they have going right now.
Memphis State has played very tight basketball games here at the Pyramid as Madlock puts it down. Against Temple, it was nip and tuck all the way. That was their last loss here. Game televised by ESPN. 7:39 to go.
Good patience that time by the Bearcats to be able to recognize, identify what was going on.
Buford, top of the key. Martin on the way. And the man from Memphis State has been in it most of the way. Van Exel gets a nice pick, but can't use it. Now he tries to get it to Buford, and it's knocked away by Ernest Allen.
Good hands by the quick Ernest Smith inside to be able to tip that ball away.
Madlock. Now Nolan. Looks like they're lost without Hardaway.
No, it really does. They don't have a direction.
And Nolan's shot is no good, but Van Exel will get, I believe, 2 shots. Yes, he was just inside the line. Van Exel with his 3rd personal foul. So far, the Bearcats doing very well on the boards with 34 rebounds, 17 offensive. And
they're doing it defensively too, creating 14 turnovers.
And Tiffany Hardaway has not scored in the second half.
And we're 13 minutes in. Nolan with the first point of this two-shot foul. He has 5. Tim Nolan.
Marcus Nolan.
Oh, sorry, Marcus Nolan. I was looking at Tim Duncan. 6'2" freshman here from Memphis.
Was shooting about 45% from the free throw line. He's got a nice stroke.
A few more attempts. Ball tied up. Oh no, they call foul on Martin for a hold. A reach in.
Tough call because the official they called it from behind. The official in front of the play had a jump ball.
Terry Nelson's going to pop back off the bench for Bob Huggins. Hardaway's back in there too, so we get about a 3-minute rest, and it's a 1-on-1 for Madlock. And Jones will check back in as Martin is back on the bench.
Buford coming out with what appears to be a bloody mouth.
An elbow, and who said this game wasn't physical?
Indeed it can be.
So Bob Huggins trying to bring a co-championship in the great Midwest to Cincinnati. Calvin Allen hit 12 in a row at the free throw line. And that is Madlock now, 1-and-1, and hits the first.
You talk about how physical this game has been, and being physical in a game really says a lot about the character of a basketball team, whether they're able to control and maintain possession inside the painted area.
Wow, he's high for that one. Jones scored all his points in the first half. Gets tied up, but A.D. Jackson comes out of there with it. Nolan's got in. Boy, the pressure on the defensive end is intense by Memphis State.
Great job.
Here's Nelson down below to Jones, and now back out to Nelson. Out runner with 10 on the shot clock. Terrence Gibson now. Going one-on-one. Lost control. Memphis State with a big possession here.
The State would like to get the ball inside if they can.
I think they got to have Hardaway touch it. Here we go. Hardaway touches a basketball for the first time in the possession. Here's Madlock. No, and Nelson high for it for UC. Hardaway's not in shooting situations.
No,
he's out on the perimeter.
Well, he can shoot the ball on the perimeter, but he's not looking for his shot. He's not being aggressive on the offensive end.
Bearcats, motion offense. Jackson. They go low. Here's Jones. Right hand, no good. And again, Allen with the rebound. No foul on Jones' left-hand shot.
Bird failed to cash in on that left-handed shot attempt.
Terrence Gibson with a big tap of that basketball, and UC comes away with it. Did you see how high he got in the air?
Yes, certainly did. Just good defensive effort once again by T-Rack.
53-45. Went through his hometown yesterday, driving from Tampa.
Is that right?
From Alabama. Nice move by Nelson. Got it partially blocked. He'll go to the line. Allen does.
Good to Tim because the last couple of times Terry Nelson has had the ball in the low post with a big defender, Kelvin Allen, on him. He's given him a couple of head fakes. That time Terry tried to go straight up and drew the foul.
So Anthony Douglas checks out of the ball game. Douglas out with just 7 points all in this half. And Tim Duncan back in. So Terry Nelson goes to the free throw line. One is good. He'll get another.
He's shooting the ball very well from the free throw line tonight.
And there's 8 points for him. Vaughn back in. And Allen
out for a long time. David Vaughn looks like he's got cobwebs on his shorts over there. He's been out so long.
Yeah, he was cobwebs on his shorts in the first half too. Riding the pine for 52 minutes where they fixed the rim.
He didn't make good decisions.
Buford with the basketball as the Bearcats come away with another offensive board. By our calculations, that's 15 tonight. Nelson. Jones on the right baseline. Clock rounding down to the 4:15
patient with the basketball. You don't want to get too conservative.
Got it over Hardaway for three.
That's a very big basket for UC and also Anthony for Nick Van Exel to be able to get inside.
And a steal at the other end. And whoop, bad pass. Hardaway for three. Short, but Vaughn there for the board. The stick pack by David Vaughn. That's his first points of the ball game, and David Vaughn averaging 12 a game. He's 12th in the league in scoring. Shut him down.
Well, they have, and David did not make the best decisions against Cincinnati in the first game, and also here today.
Nelson, out loud, looking inside. There's Jones, turn around, he's good, kissed it off the window. Herb Jones.
That's a tough shot by Herbert, leaning into the defender.
Bearcats 59, Tigers 47, 3.5 to go. Bomb by Hardaway, and it's Jones with a rebound, or Blunt with a rebound.
What this rim might be attributing to what's going on as far as Memphis Station's inability to put the ball through the hoop. The ball's not staying up on the rim like it might have had they not replaced it.
Tim Duncan with the foul. Herb Jones needs just 8 points to be the 13th Bearcat to score 500 in a game. He's got 12 in the ball game. He's 8 goals. So Hardaway looks like he's a bit winded out there.
Take a look at Penny Hardaway's shot. Look how long this rebound comes off, and I am going to say it. I think it's because of the tightness of that rim there. Unfortunately for the Bearcats, it happened in the first half when they were scoring, trying to shoot on that particular rim, and now in the second half, it's Memphis State's turn, and the ball is not falling for them.
Herb Jones with one more opportunity at the free throw line on the 2-shot foul, and it is good. And so at 14 points, Herb Jones leading the Bearcats. They lead at 61-47. We'll return to Memphis in just a minute. (61-47) Cincinnati as Bob Huggins talks to the troops. Final 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Let's take a look at the four-game summary. Turnovers, Bearcats with one more, but it's that kind of game. But look at the points off the turnovers. The Bearcats with 22 and Memphis State with 18.
Well, I want to give Herb Jones a lot of credit. Not only has he scored 14 points and 2 assists, 4 from the free throw line, but he has limited Anthony Hardaway to just 11 points in the first half alone. Tremendous effort by Herb Jones.
And Hardaway averaging 17.7 points a game. That's 4th best in the conference. And he is shut out here in the second half, and he's going towards the rim that is the new one. It was jammed, and they put a new rim up. Of course, if you joined us late, that delayed the first half of this ball game by 52 minutes.
I'll tell you what the Bearcats have shown me so far, and that is that they are ready to elevate themselves to the next level, because not only are they playing great defense, but they are also should be a goaltending call.
Oh, Vaughn goes to the line after he hits the bucket because there's going to be a foul. Pound inside.
The reason I say this should have been a goaltending call, watch coming through the lane. Herb Jones is going to grab the net.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep. Had the basket not gone in, they might have given him the hoop anyway.
David Vaughn with just his second field goal in the ball game. David Vaughn at the free throw line is a good free throw shooter. 73% on the season.
Still got a lot of time on the clock, over 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 8 seconds to be exact.
Bearcats by 11. Lots of pressure by Memphis State. You're going to see double teams, all kinds of situations.
Cincinnati has to continue to look to get to the basket because they're going to be overplayed. They're going to have people go underneath on them, trying to create steals and force turnovers. But if you go backdoor like that, get inside, you can either get to the foul line or you can get easy layups.
Now the backdoor cut is going to be available. Madlock with the foul. And now 2 shots coming to Anthony Duke.
This is another thing that I like about what the Bearcats have done in terms of their taking the next step. They've cashed in on free throws. They've made their free throws tonight. As we talked about earlier, they're only shooting 64% from the field as a team on the year. And now tonight, they've made a tremendous amount of those free throws, only missing 2.
Well, remember, they had 48 attempts at the free throw line the first meeting. That's the most attempted since 1973. And Blunt with a big board there. He goes up for the jam, and he's fouled by Vaughn.
But did you like the authority that Corey Blunt went back in there with? He went back in not with the attempt to lay the ball up and have Vaughn block it, but he was going in trying to actually dunk that basketball. That's a nice job by Corey Blunt. Now he's going to get to the foul line, showing that he has indeed come to play.
Vaughn with 4 fouls now. Corey Blunt at the free throw line. He has perfected the technique of blocking shots. He had one earlier in this game. He's had 10 in the last 5 games.
Not shooting with any arc on the ball. Corey Blunt is shooting a straight line right now.
Corey averaging 8.5 points a game for Bob Huggins. Just 56%. Junior College Player of the Year last year. There's some arc. And the ball is tapped out to Smith. Ball in the middle of the paint. Oh, and Terry Nelson had a black jersey, but he could have had a white jersey. 2.5 to play, and there's a foul in the backcourt. Ernest Smith, a senior from right here at Memphis. We'll have the 1-and-1 with UC and Ernest Smith's first personal foul.
This is going to be a very big test for Cincinnati once again. They're up by 12 points with 2 minutes and 34 seconds to go, and they're going to get fouled, so now they have to convert these free throws in order to seal the game and put it away. Nicky Van Exel with 19 points on the night so far.
And make it 20, so Van Exel with another free throw here could tie his career high at UC. Tied it a couple of times, one being East Carolina. And now he's tied it again with 21 points. And so we'll get a change in the lineup as Russell Young checks in. He's a senior out of LaGrange, Arkansas, 6'5", 212 pounds. Ernest Smith checks out. So I believe all the seniors have played. I think so. 5 seniors for Memphis State playing their final home game. 2:26 to go. Tournament next week for UC. There's a long shot by Smith, it's no good. And the rebound to UC, and now a break. Herb Jones is going to slow it down. Van Exel. Come down to the 2-minute mark. UC leading by 14 here in Memphis.
Utilizing the clock as best they can is what Cincinnati should be able to do right now. Make good passes, run the motion offense, and if they get a chance, attack the basket.
Van Exel's had an outstanding second half, 15 points. Jones in the corner with it. Herb bringing it to the middle, now 12, and will set the offense up to a 1:45 left on the clock. Here's Buford, only 8 seconds. 5 seconds on the clock. He's going to have to shoot it.
Yes, he is.
Or Van Exel forces it and hit it. It's a 3 at the buzzer. Yes.
As he laughs all the way going back down the court. That's one of those circus shots you practice in horse.
A new career high. And a bomb by Hardaway as he answers his first points of the second half. He has 14. Coming down to the minute mark now. A 14-point lead for UC.
Taking care of the basketball is going to be important for Cincinnati because they're going to get fouled.
Just like that, and Herb Jones will go to the line. And the foul goes against Russell Young, his first. Well, the Memphis State Tigers haven't played this kind of game at home all season long. They really have played much better basketball. And look at the Bearcats. They've averaged their opponents, held them to 59-9. That's a great credit to the defensive effort as Jones puts the first one home.
Absolutely. Herb Jones with 14 points and Nicky Van Exel with 24 on the night. Herb's 15th point.
Minute to go. 69-53. And Hardaway will let it go again. Everybody else crashes the boards. Vaughn gets it rejected by Blunt or Jones, and he'll go. I'll tell you what, that ball went home in a hurry after that rejection, didn't it?
It sure did.
Goodness.
Take a look at, if you will, at Corey Blunt. The shot's going up from the outside, and another long carom, but David Vaughn coming in. Corey Blunt meeting him at the top for that rebound, and the foul is given to Terry Nelson.
Terry Nelson only with 2 fouls, and Vaughn will go to the free throw line. 52.7 seconds to play. And it's a 3-point play. 69-56 down. Again, pressure in the backcourt. And Exel didn't have a lot of pressure that time. 38 seconds to go. UC winds it down. 23 on the shot clock. There's Jones. The 22,000 or so that are out of here. It's heading for the exits here at the Pyramid. 19 on the game clock, 10 on the shot clock. There's a long bomb by Nelson. The rebound goes to Vaughn. And now, as the clock runs down, Memphis State will have the final possession. There's Young off to Hardaway. 3 seconds to go as Hardaway drains the three. And that's the ball game. The University of Cincinnati has won at Memphis State. The final 69-59. The Bearcats take it home. Co-champions in the Great Midwest Conference with DePaul as they head to the tournament next week. We'll be back with more in Memphis in a minute. Cincinnati coming away with a victory, 69-59 over the Memphis State Tigers here in Memphis tonight. Tonight's Performance Automotive Performer of the game is Nick Van Exel. Wow, 24 points, 3 assists, 8 of 12 from the field, and a block shot as well. In recognition of outstanding achievement, the Performance Automotive Network will make a donation to the University of Cincinnati General Scholarship Fund. Wow, I'll tell you what, Nick Van Exel had a great game tonight, and the chance of a lifetime to have a career high and take a championship back to Cincinnati.
Well, indeed, it was a great team effort once again, Tim, with Cincinnati playing tremendous defense, holding their opponent under the 59 points, and also to be able to take care of the basketball. They did a great job of that. Nicky Van Exel led the way offensively as well as distributing the ball to his teammates.
First time in 26 years, a championship, and it comes back to Cincinnati. Be sure to watch the Great Midwest Tournament next Thursday and Friday with doubleheaders both nights beginning at 8 p.m. Our thanks to Mark Owens and Tom Hathaway, our sports information gurus, for their assistance tonight. Once again, our final score, Cincinnati 69, Memphis State 59. For Derek Dickey and Tom Kelly, I'm Tim Bray. So long from Memphis.